Uban nato karon ang isa sa ato ang guest no, ang Director for Mindanao Center for Policy Studies sa University of Southeastern Philippines or USEC CDM Mintal Campus, and at the same time siya ang overall project leader at program leader sa policy discussion and recommendations aning CRVA. Walay lain of course si Dr. Joe Teddy Bugarin. Good morning, Doc.
Morning.
And welcome sa Tuwang Tech Talks, Doc.
Thank you.
And of course, kauban nato karon kisa ba nimong mga kasabay karon dito?
I have with me the study leaders of this program, si Dr. Melissa Ratia and also Miss Karen Heniston.
Hi, Doc Mel and Ma'am Karen. Kasi Doc Mel, sir, kauban ko naman sa DA. So, pag-start na ako, nalang si Doc Mel. Kaya nakita niya ako. Alright, so sir, before nato pag-asundan sir no, because I know nga daghan kaayong mga technical team nato nga involved aning CRVA. Of course, both nato nga i-recognize ang pasalamatan. Sir, taga-probinsya? Kinsa ba ni sila, sir?
The team is composed of several faculty members in the University of Southeastern Philippines. Yusef, siya yung gitap ng BA to conduct the first DAMIA and then also the study on CRVA. So the CRVA covers all the provinces dito sa Region 11. So we identified project teams per province. So sa Davao de Oro, we have, as mentioned earlier, si Dr. Aratia, and then si Ma'am Bridget Catalan, who is also in study leave right now. She's in Japan finishing her PhD also. And me, as the program leader of CRVA, we are in charge of the CRVA. That CRVA is Climate Risk Vulnerability Assessment in the province of Davao de Oro. So, in the same manner, sa Davao del Norte, kauban diha sila Ma'am Karen Heniston, Sir Edson Santander, and si Dr. Recky Gia. So, sila in charge also in the assessment of Davao del Norte. For the Davao Occidental, we have Sir Eric Ricablanca, Ma'am Nikilo Tange, and Ma'am Dr. Meroflor Lantaho. That's for Davao Occidental, no? CRVA. And yung mga naunang CRVA were conducted in Davao Oriental at saka Davao del Sur. And the team is composed of Dr. Aceres Lali and Miss Bridget Catalan and Apolinar Tabanera. For Davao del Sur, we also have same people except for Ma'am Pelicano and Sir Montepio to be added in Davao del Sur. We also have the collaborating staff and i-interview ganiya si Sir Cham, si Ben Fernandez, and our overall program staff, si Ms. Archan Ariol. That's mostly the entire team of CRVA in Region 11.
Alright, and sir, na-mention na ganina ni Sir Cham kung unsa ka-importante ang CRVA sa AMIA 11, but para sa inyo sir nga nag-interview sa field, naghimo aning CRVA, para sa inyo, unsa ka-importante ang CRVA, especially in decision-making, sir, para sa agriculture sector?
Yeah. You mentioned decision-making. Basically, the CRVA is a basis for decision-making, or sometimes we call that one as decision-making or decision support system, DSS. So, we have programs. You have programs, we have development programs, agriculture has their own programs. So sa mga programa, kinahanglan man gud nga natay basihan para sa unsang klaseng programa ang i-implement anang lugar. So the CRVA is basically, the purpose of that CRVA becomes the results of CRVA, mo siyang mahimong basihan para mag-design sa mga specific programs na tailor-fit dito sa needs sa mga communities, sa mga municipalities, as well as provinces. So ang attack ni CRVA is on the province, but we went down to the municipalities, so we were able to assess yung mga vulnerabilities ng municipalities in terms of their crops. By the way, ang CRVA kasi, ang limitation niya is nasa crops lang kami. So wala kami sa livestock. So mostly, yung top 10 major crops ng municipality or ng province ang kinonsider nito. So once na na-identify yung top 10 crops ng province, we conducted the assessment. How these top 10, these crops are, how they are vulnerable in terms of their exposure to climate change, changes in temperature as well as changes in precipitation, no? And also the exposure to the hazards, no? Like typhoon, you have the landslide, you have the soil erosion, we also include flood, yan, mga earthquake, and etc. Marami siyang parameters for the hazards. And finally, yung sa CRVA, ang assessment na ginamit dyan is 70% of that vulnerability comes from the adaptive capacity. So ito yung capability ng mga communities to recover from the onslaught of mga typhoons, as well as hazards, as well as mga effects ng climate change based on changes in temperature as well as precipitation. So ganun yung kanyang ano.
Naghana din, sir, no? Coverage yung CRVA. Kano sa ba siya nagsugod, sir, in yung collaboration with AMIA ONCE and yung sa ba pagsugod siya?
It started with Dr. Reti Gia when AMIA was piloted, no? In Davao del Sur, Davao City. Tapos, there are several phases. As I mentioned kanina, medyo nauna yung Davao Oriental, Davao del Sur, compared dun sa remaining 3 provinces. The 3 provinces were already phase 3. So I think it started 2018. 2018 ba siya na-start? Yeah, 2018. And then on phase 3, we conducted that one 2023 to 2024. So we ended up last November of 2024. Yung natapos yung phase 3 ng CRVA, which is yung tatlong provinces, the Davao de Oro, Davao del Norte, as well as Davao Occidental.
And kung sabi mga objectives yung studies, sir?
Yeah, before discussing the objectives, kasi yung pinaka-purpose ni CRVA is to really also support the AMIA in identifying the specific interventions, no? That should be given sa mga communities. And this is generally pa siyang climate resilient agriculture ang tinutumbok ni CRVA. Paano natin gawing resilient yung ating agricultural sector in Davao region? Resilient in terms of yung nabanggit na mga climate change, yung nabanggit na mga hazards. We have to make our agriculture sector resilient against the negative impacts of those exposures to climate change and hazards. So with that purpose, we have these objectives. So we have generally we have 3 components for CRVA. Yung component 1 is the geospatial mapping, and this component has 3 objectives. First is to map the crop occurrence. Ito yung identifying the different crops, top 10 crops in the province, down to the municipality level. And then, ang pangalawa nito is to map and analyze and predict crop sensitivity in the provinces of, ito is Davao Occidental to, pero it is being conducted in all provinces of Davao region. So, when we say predict crop sensitivity, we are talking about climate change here. So yung climate change niya is basically on the temperature as well as yung precipitation. So yun yung dalawang parameters ng sensitivity. Yung pangatlo nito is map and analyze the level of hazard, exposure na ito siya, no? Nabanggit ko ito kanina. Ito yung mga typhoons, storm surge, flood, drought, erosion, landslide, saltwater intrusion, and sea level rise. All of these parameters were being recorded and also described and analyzed in the study. That is for component 1. Ang pangalawang component is the adaptive capacity, which is basically composing the 70% of the entire vulnerability measurement. So dito sa adaptive capacity, tinitingnan namin yung anim na components dito, yung economic capital, social capital, natural capital, human capital, physical capital, and anticipatory capital. Itong mga capitals na to, kailangan existing to siya sa munisipyo, hindi kaya sa province. Para sa ganun, ma-combat niya yung mga negative effects ng sensitivity as well as yung mga hazards na yun. No? So when we say economic capital, do they have enough financial stability or financial sector? Mga economic variables like mga credit institutions, na kung saan pwedeng lapitan ng mga nasalanta ng bagyo para muli sila makabangon dun sa mga hazards na yun. For social capital kasi, tinitingnan din natin dyan kung gaano ba ka-organize yung mga farmers natin as well as yung community na tinamaan ng mga bagyo na yan o ng mga hazards na yan. So, organization siya, more nakafocus siya dyan. For natural capital, what's in the municipality? Meron ba siya mga natural sources of water na pwede niyang itap? For human capital naman, mga variables such as yung skills ng mga labor force dun sa area, nirecord din namin. Sa physical, dito na ngayon pumapasok yung mga roads as well as mga storage facilities, road networks, yung mga processing facilities. This processing, nabanggit kanina, kailangan siya kasi para hindi lang siya puro raw ang binibenta ng mga farmers. So, pwede nilang i-process yung kanilang mga yung kanilang mga produce para nang sa ganun is mas lumaki yung kanilang kita at saka mas resilient sila ngayon. Siyempre, alam naman natin pagka when it comes to resiliency, kailangan talaga natin ng pera, no? At saka kailangan natin ng economic resources. And for the anticipatory, we also recognize yung mga warning devices or yung mga warning system or ng municipality or if not the province. So all of these capitals would play their important role in combating also the sensitivity as well as yung hazard na na-face ng ating mga farmers. So with that frame of analysis, we were able to have that number 4, which is the vulnerability. Sa vulnerability kasi, ang computation niyan is mina-minus natin yung yung sensitivity plus you have the hazard, then plus 1 minus the vulnerability. So yun yung formula niya to get the overall vulnerability. So that vulnerability will greatly depend on that adaptive capacity, which is basically 70%. While the sensitivity as well as hazard will have each weighted as 15% sila. Yung pangatlong namin component, which is CRVA policy discussions and recommendations. Ito ngayon is we are targeting kung paano gagamitin ng community or ng province or ng municipality yung possible results or yung results ng CRVA or yung assessment. So with this, we would like to recommend certain courses of actions para maibigay natin sa ating mga end users. So basically, ang pinakauna dito is of course ang Department of Agriculture. So ito yung gagamitin ni Department of Agriculture para magiging basihan niya para mag-craft ng mga specific na interventions. Yeah. So these are the 3 components as yung kanilang respective objectives.
Alright. Karoon pa na ako mas nakita, Doc, nung grabe di ay kadaghan o ginatanaw ang CRVA. Mas nasabta na ako kung anong ato ang mga international financial institution like World Bank tungod sa kanang number kining ginatawag nga PRDP. Nganong murag gina-push gid nila karon nga makig-align or makig-collaborate sa aniya because isa sa ilang ginatanaw mo dito is ang social and environmental safeguards. So murag mas naagi basihan kung naay pareho ani nga datos gikan sa CRVA. And I just hope po Sir Chamlo nga ma-streamline din siya dito sa toong mga banner programs para naay igong basihan po ang pag-identify na sa mga beneficiaries, pag-identify sa mga interventions na ihatag sa community kung murag tanang aspect na ata sir sa kung ano inyong ginatan-aw din sa CRVA. And of course, kining sa inyong operational framework, sir, results and findings ninyo sa CRVA sa Region 11. Unsa ba proseso ana niya, sir?
Yeah. Kaning operational framework namo for CRVA, we crafted this one in such a way na magamit siya sa intended users nung results ng study or yung assessment, no? Once na nanatong results, nanatong assessment, we will be crafting the policy implications. Pag sinabi kasi nating policy implications, yun pa lang yung possible na mga posibleng policy na pwede natin siyang ipatupad for a particular province, particular municipality, no? Kasi siyempre alam naman kabalumatan nga lahi na silang mga conditions. So specific conditions require specific unique policies also. So but before crafting the policies, i-review natin yung kanilang existing policies, no? Baka meron na sila. So pagka meron na sila, pwedeng ipagpatuloy lang yung policy na yun, i-implement. If not, we'll have to craft new policies to address that problem na lumabas sa kanilang municipality, sa kanilang area. And then we also employ a collaborative effort on this policy recommendations. So collaborative means kailangan natin kumuha ng buy-in ng ating stakeholders, or if not, we work with stakeholders or mga policy makers sa province or sa region para magkaisa tayo dun sa tinatawag nating policy na ating i-recommend sa kanilang area. So mahirap kasi na kung tayo lang mag-recommend, baka mamaya yan hindi applicable sa kanilang area. So kailangan na in partnership with them yung pag-formulate natin ng policy. So, ganun yung naging operation ng CRVA. And that is basically to assure na magagamit talaga yung findings ng CRVA natin, yung assessment.
And so far, sir, na-present na po din sa itong mga provinces na to, sir?
Yeah. Soon as we finish or even if we are not yet finished, no, we have been working with the provinces already. The Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Sangguniang Panglungsod ng mga provinces, ini-invite namin sila to check also on their constituency. We try to build constituency in these municipalities, provinces regarding the policy implications nung study. So right after we finish the data analysis, balik kami sa probinsya. We conducted stakeholders consultations together with their several offices like